Tom Paxton, can't help but wonder where I'm bound. I didn't know this song until it was requested by a viewer like you. I don't remember who requested it. I should write these things down, but you know who you are, and that's what's important. And this, you're right, this is a gorgeous song. Great finger picking. To me, it's slightly dated. You know how like Joan Baez or like Peter, Paul and Mary or John Denver, you know, like some of the stuff is really pretty and good, but it didn't age well. You know, there's a little cheese factor in it. But that's okay, because it is a gorgeous song with fantastic finger picking. Very emotional, nostalgic punch this song has. So I'm excited to be bringing it to you guys. If you don't want to hear my stories, you know, click ahead. Timestamps are below. But I will share a story. I had to get a surgery for an umbilical hernia, and I almost want to show you, but I know some of you guys get easily grossed out. Maybe during the middle of the video, I'll flash it and like you'll gag. It's not that bad, but I'm doing well. Everything was good, but like surgeries are no joke. The first 3 days, I did not feel well. The general anesthesia, like you feel gross, and you literally can't lift your head up off the pillow because you have no abdominal muscle use whatsoever. But anyway, so I'm like basically bedridden for like 3 or 4 days. And on day 6, I could finally sit up with my guitar and breathe enough to sing without it being, you know, uncomfortable, painful. And I picked up this song and I played it, and I cried. I'll admit it to the internet, okay? I cried. I realized, I mean, I always knew this, but guitar and music is so cathartic and beautiful, and just made me realize how grateful I am for my fingers and my eyes and my talents and these gifts that God gave me and you, gave us, and then we get to use them to make people smile and feel good emotions. And so I had a great moment with this song, and now it will forever have this place in my heart, and I could think fondly of, you know, the moments you're like, man, it's nice, I have a good voice, I can sing, like, this feels really good to do. And to not take it for granted is all that I'm saying. So we're going to dive into this song. It is not a beginner song, so watch the Travis Picking playlist, go through some of those songs. I'd say it's like middle level. And if you don't know, again, please go listen to Tom's version. It's beautiful. I'll be posting a cover at some point, maybe before this video, maybe after, I don't know. But go check out my cover of that as well when it happens. Otherwise, let's dive in. Capo is on the 2nd fret. Chord shapes are pretty straightforward. It's just nice right hand stuff, a lot of anticipation and descending little melodies that are just so delightful. Here we go. Measure 1. Capo 2, we're going to do a D minor chord. Now there are a couple of different ways to play a D minor. I tend to do it this way. 1, then my pinky, and then my middle finger. But if you're using your ring finger, that's fine. No reason, context-wise, in this song, it's gonna matter. So however you want to do that D minor. So let's go through that really pretty measure, nice and slow. I am gonna be pinching. Well, as usual, it is Travis picking, so the thumb is going back and forth between 4 and 3 every time. That's it, 4th string, 3rd, so we're kind of up high. That first note is a pinch on 4 and 1. I'm using my thumb and middle finger. Then I'm immediately hitting the 2nd string with my pointer finger, followed by the thumb on the 3rd string. Got that. And then immediately going back to the 1st string with my middle finger. So pinch, 2nd, 3rd, 1st. That's the first half of the measure. And then our thumb goes to the 5th string, and we do 5 to the 2nd string with the pointer. Then we go to the 3rd string with our thumb, and then the 1st string we lift that left hand finger to get open with our middle finger there on the 1st string. So that 2nd half of the measure, 5, 2, 3, 1. So the strings are 5, 2, 3. And right as before we play that one, I lift my pointer. The last possible moment, because you want everything to be as smooth as possible. So all of that measure 1 together, 3, 4. Really pretty, go slow, rewatch as many times as necessary. Whew. Measure 2, we go to a G chord. All we need is our ring finger here on that 3rd fret. And then I'm using my pinky, because we're going to need our pinky on the 2nd string, 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then our pointer is going to walk down to 1 eventually. So that's how I'm fingering it. And that's how I actually recommend you do it as well. All these folk songs, ring finger is on that 3rd string, not the middle. Resist the urge. I know that's the kind of pop approach, modern folk approach to voice that G chord. None of these old timers do it that way. So get used to that ring finger there. And here's the measure. Got a G chord. Right away our pinky's down on that 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And I'm doing, the strings are 6, 3, 4, 2. And that's thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And then I'm doing that same exact right hand pattern, thumb, pointer, thumb. But then I move right when I hit that middle. I lift my pinky and put down my pointer finger to get that note C there. Right, you want to wait till the last minute to lift that pinky. So it is 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, and we move it. Fairly easy, but even chaining those first 2 measures together can be tricky. So let's play it together here. 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice how your pinky didn't move between those 2, right? Because it's down here for the D minor and then it stays down. So I'm not gonna bother lifting it up. So watch my left hand closely here. So right when I lift to get that open, I'm actually lifting all of them except the pinky. And then I'm going to get my thumb down for that G chord. One more time, 3, 4. That's really cool. Measure 3. This one is a little bit tricky, so take your time with it. Couple weird things. First off, we're on the C chord. Well, we came from a G. We'll talk about the transitions later. Let's get this down. It's like a C chord, but we don't need our first finger. Eventually, it's going to be lifted up, right? Because you played it in the last measure coming out of the G. So you're just going to hold that down, go into a C chord here at the top of the measure, and it's 5, 3, 4, 2. But when I play the 2, I'm lifting that pointer finger up. So it's like a C major 7. So again, it's going to be thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And the strings are 5, 3, 4, 2. And then we go to an E minor. But the way I'm doing this is we're in the C major 7 chord. All I'm going to do is lift my middle finger. And I'm doing the E minor that way. The reason is because this E minor is going to very quickly transition into an A minor. And when we play the E minor, we're actually never hitting this 5th string. So there's no need to like play it like a full E minor because you're moving the hand unnecessarily. You're getting rid of the smooth legato line for no reason because we don't ever play this 5th string on the E minor. So it's like a C major 7. Then the next chord, you're just going to lift your ring finger. That's it. And you're keeping your middle finger down on that 2nd fret. But then we immediately, that's why we're doing it, because we're going to need that finger there. So that E minor, the 2nd half of measure 3 here is just 6, 3. I'm doing thumb, pointer. And then I hit the 4th string with my thumb. And then I'm putting my ring finger down on the 2nd fret of that G string, the 3rd string. And I'm hitting the pointer again. So it's 6, 3, 4, 3. Thumb, pointer, and I'm adding that ring finger 2nd fret note there. Put the ring finger down. Think you got it. Now, putting those 2 together, we have the C major 7 idea. And coming from the C chord, I'll notice I do kind of shift my hand over a little bit, because if I have this way on the inside of the fret, then it's very tricky for me to get that ring finger underneath. So when I do that, my finger's not lifting up, but I'm sliding it to give myself more room for the chord that's about to come. Right, did you see that? Really subtle, but it's gonna make it way easier to fit that ring finger underneath. One more time, 3, 4. And you gotta hold, remember to hold, don't lift anything too early. Put it down. And let's put those three together actually. First three measures here. 3, 4. So smooth, and go slow for a while. This is how we learn. I know the song's way faster than that. It doesn't matter. Enjoy it as a beautiful, slow piece, because this is how you get good. You want your tone to be nice. You want it to sound really pretty. I'd rather have you play at 50% of the speed, really beautiful, than, 100% all sloppy. And I think most people feel that way as well. Measure 4. All right, we go to an A minor. We already kind of put down that one finger from the previous measure, which was... And then here, at some point, you're just going to add that first finger down to the B string as if you were playing a regular A minor. But the pattern is... You'll notice the rhythm's a little more sparse here. So it's thumb on the 5th, thumb on the 4th, then an and, which is open on the first string. Thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, thumb, middle, then thumb goes to the 6th string. Then immediately we go to the 2nd string. I guess I would do my pointer there. I think that's what I'm doing. Or, sorry. Yeah, my pointer on the 2nd string. And then my thumb goes all the way to the 3rd. So you'll notice that we actually have a 4-string thumb pattern, right? We have 5, 4, 6, 3. So very busy thumb, despite the measure being sparse. Doc Watson does a lot of this stuff, which just makes it really colorful. Townes does it too, but Doc is like a pro at it. So anyways, we have 5, 4, 1, 6, 2, 3. 5, 4, 1, 6, 2, 3. I won't belabor it. Hit rewind if you're lost until you get it down. And those are the first 4 bars. Let's do them all together. 3, 4. Lift. Move to the 1st fret. Lift it up. Slide down. And it's not super important when you put that first finger down. I'd probably just get in the habit to add it right before you hit that 2nd string on that A chord. Put it down right before you play it. It's just a good habit because you always want these lines to be legato and smooth and don't just default going to the chord because that's the chord, right? The melody is more important for a lot of these fingerpick tunes. And well done. You're well on your way. If you're feeling good with this stuff, the song doesn't really get any harder. This is kind of how he rolls. And you'll notice this is just awesome, really great melodic writing on the guitar. We have that D minor. He lifts it. We have a passing tone. F, down, down. So we have the passing tone. And when it goes to the pinky note there, the 3rd fret. And then he anticipates the C chord, right? We go to that C a little bit before we get to the C. Townes always uses anticipation as well. If you're a songwriter, start incorporating it. And then, it just keeps descending, right? We go to the E minor, but again, it's an anticipation. We hear that open on the 2nd string right before we actually realize the note in the E minor chord. And then the A minor is just color. It's not really melodic there, but really good songwriting. Donation pitch here at Mike's Music Method. Guys, I really need you right now to help support the channel in order to feed this poor baby bird. If you don't donate now to my PayPal and Patreon, this poor baby bird won't have enough to eat. And, sorry, it's not funny. A little bit. But look at these baby chicks. Aren't they cute? Guys, if you're getting value from this channel, please consider giving some back. My goal here at Mike's Music Method is to get very accurate tabs, as accurate as my ear is able to transcribe these songs. A lot of these John Hurt, Townes, Prine songs, these old country songs don't have good tabs out there, certainly not for free. And that's what I'm trying to do. My promise to you all is to never put anything behind a paywall. And so anyone who can't afford it, who is trying to get a better musical education, can do it right here at Mike's Music Method. But for those of you who have the means, please consider giving, because it buys me time. I have 3 kids and all sorts, everyone's life is busy. But the more you guys can pitch in, the more videos I'm able to make and focus on this channel, and the more people are able to get access to more and more awesome finger-picking songs, and you guys will help me keep my lights on and feed the birds. And look at me, I don't get fancy on gear. I only have like 2 decent guitars, and so what I'm saying is I will use your money wisely to buy me time to work on Mike's Music Method and to feed the chickens. All right, let's keep going with the song. Measure 5. We kind of have some repeat material here. 5 is exactly the same as 1. And 6 is the same as 2. So here he kind of mellows out. It's the end of the intro here. And let's look at measure 7, just a C chord. Now a couple ways to do this. You're playing a regular C chord, and you can choose to move this ring finger up, right, to get to that 6th string 3rd fret. Or you can always put that ring finger on the 6th string and insert your pinky on the 5th string. So now you can play all 6 strings at the same time, the big boy C chord. So however you want to do it, I tend to get in the habit of moving it. Often Towns and these other guys will use their pinky for melodic notes while they're also moving the bass line. So learning both is good. There's no right or wrong there, context dependent, right? So beginning measure 7, it's just that C chord. 5, 3, 4, 1. Yeah, so thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And then you go to the 6th string with the thumb, and it's thumb, pointer, thumb, middle on the 2nd string. So I'll call it the strings here, but look at the tab. 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, 3, 4, 2. And I'm just doing, yeah, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And then measure 8, the rhythm's different. 5, 3, 4, 6, 2, 4. Thumb, pointer, thumb, thumb, middle, thumb. So again, it's just a C with that ring finger moving up and down, and you got that really beautiful, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a gorgeous folk tune. It sounds slightly dated, I know, with the melody and the picking, but beautifully dated, if I may say. And I do say. I don't need your permission to say it. I can say whatever I want to say, so I do say. Not may I, do I? Yes, I do. Let's do the whole intro together. Since you're there, we'll play it. I'll do another one at the end. Slow run-throughs. Always down below, timestamps are your best friend. You're probably not going to sit down in one sitting, so use the timestamps to move around and jump around. If you click on the video description, you can also, they're posted in there as well, down at the bottom. So that's helpful. Do those, jump ahead, so you don't always have to listen to me explain things that you might be a pro at already. You know, but other people do need to hear them. There's many people watching these videos. All right, so where are we? We're going to do the whole intro. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Mike's music method. My guess is that 70% of you are going to find the birds adorable during the video, and 30% of you are going to be very annoyed with the background chirping during the entire video. But sorry, the birds live in my office because I have 3 cats, and the cats will kill the birds if they're anywhere else in my house. But if you are really, really annoyed, come visit. I live in Pittsburgh, and you can eat some of their chickens in a few months, all right? That's my promise to you. So if you're trying to just come here to learn some Tom Paxton and you got to deal with annoying birds chirping in your headphones, well, just send me an email and I'll send you an egg, okay? All right, let's get to the song. Measure 9, we're going to start the verse. Not too much new. So let's kick off. We start on a C chord. Here he's always doing something slightly different, so don't get too hung up. The idea here is to have some kind of pattern that has some color to it, some variety. But here I wouldn't obsess on the exact pattern. If doing measure 9 the same as 10 works better for you, or if you like measure 10 better because it's easier or something, you can use that pattern for that C chord. You know what I mean? He's taking some creative liberty here, and it's not always the same. And plus, it's very difficult to hear on the recording. The vocals are so loud that sometimes you can't tell exactly what the pattern is. But here's how I'm hearing it. I've got 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4, 1. And again, we just have that moving ring finger. Thumb, thumb, and then the thumb on the 6th string. Thumb, and thumb, thumb, pointer, 9. 10's really similar, but we have 5, 2, 4, 1 at the beginning, so it would be thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And then the second half is just thumb on the 6th string, 6, 2, 4. So that measure 10 there, 3, 4. Again, if you just wanted to do that every time for the C, that would be fine. I think you guys get the idea. He sings to that, and then we go into an F chord. And if you don't know how to play this F chord with your thumb over the top, I got a video on it. Our bar chord's overrated, or that damned F chord, and you can watch the different ways to play the F. But you can do this one however you want. I'm putting the thumb there. It doesn't really matter. You can do a full F because it's only for a second that we're playing it. And it is just 6, 3, 4. Thumb, pointer, thumb. Because we're immediately going to an A minor. And that A minor is, the strings are thumb on 5th, pointer on 2nd, thumb on the 3rd, middle finger on the 1st. So together you have. And then to a D minor, we'll just keep rolling along here, measure 12. I know that sounds goofy, that's definitely what he does in this first verse. If I'm covering it, I might just repeat the same D minor. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. But what he's doing is pretty cool here. We have thumb on 4, pointer on 2, thumb on 3, middle on 1. And then, this is neat, he does 5 with the thumb, 3rd, and then pointer on 3, thumb on 4, and then he lifts the pinky. You can kind of just lift up the chord to transition, and he does open on the 2nd string, which is a really weird kind of sound. But that's what he's doing. Let's sing together from 9, all right? So we have, it's a little bit of a pickup. It's a long and a dusty road, a hard and a heavy load. Folks I meet. So one more time, I know for you singers, sometimes people have requested, it's helpful to see where these lyrics land with the picking. And if that's too hard, I talk about this in a lot of my videos, but it's worth repeating. Jump ahead if you've heard me say this before, timestamps below. But if it's too hard, just strum the chords first, right? It's a long and a dusty road. It's a hard and a heavy load. So in my mind, I'm not counting. I'll tap and feel it out, but I'm not thinking of numbers. Often I kind of know which word the chord changes on, and I just feel it and intuit it and memorize it that way, as opposed to counting numbers in my head while I'm playing, right? Just feel out, right? If you've been playing guitar for a while, you know what 4 feels like. You're not counting. So once that gets easy, then you can just do your thumb. It's a long and a dusty road. It's a hard and a heavy load. And then when you get a little better, then you start adding the other fingers. It's a long and a dusty road. It's a hard and a heavy load. And eventually you'll get it. If you have to go way slower than that and repeat way more often than that, or stay on only your thumb and the pointer finger for 2 weeks, whatever it takes, that is the process. Don't feel dumb. Don't feel stupid. All of this stuff takes a long time, and we all have to do it to get there. And if it wasn't hard to do, then everyone in the world would be an unbelievable guitarist. But they're not. Most people are terrible guitarists because it's not easy to do. But you're going to be a good one because you're going to be patient and go slow and take some time on it. Measure 13. This one's a little bit weird. It's a G7, but it's kind of that old folk way. Dylan does this, Elizabeth Cotten. It's a great way to play a G7 chord. Instead of adding the F up here, we have our ring finger here, and our F is our pinky, 3rd fret of the D string, 3rd fret of the 4th string. We add our pinky there because that's an F. So it's a D7 chord, but a cooler, just a different voicing. We have the this G7 and I'm doing thumbs bouncing back and forth between 6 and 4 the whole time. And it's just 6, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4, 2. But on the last two, I'm moving my pinky down to the first fret. And it's thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Then I'm just gonna go, because it continues right into 14. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. So the second string, we lift the pinky that last time and do the first fret, which is a C because he's anticipating the C chord to come. And again here, I don't really care too much how you pick it, but I'm doing 5, 4, 1, and I think Tom is doing this too. Tom, I can't get this guy's name right. Tom Paxton? Todd Paxton? I'm learning a song, I don't even know his name yet. 5, 4, 1, 6, 3, 4, 2. Thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. And then the last measure, which is the same thing. Yeah, they're both the same. And that is the verse. We can sing it together. So we did the first part already. It's a long and a dusty road. It's a hard and a heavy load. And the folks I meet ain't always kind. And the folks I meet ain't always kind. Some are bad. And we'll keep going. Think you get it. I don't want to belabor the singing, but just know that it does take time. And sometimes you have to go measure by measure and be really deliberate. Like, oh, when I hit that middle finger there, I like want to sing the word, but he actually holds it one beat longer. And be aware of all of those difficult ideas, because playing a finger is going to want to trigger your singing, or when you sing a note, it's going to want to trigger a note in your hand that might not be there. Be careful. One little note about that G7, it can be tricky to come from that D minor to the G7. So what I'm doing, I'm not very good at, well, now that I'm practicing, I can get them both at the same time. But what I usually do is just get my ring finger there, because I have, an extra second to get my pinky in place. So I have the D minor, I'm just gonna lift it up, get my ring finger there, and try to follow the pinky as soon as possible. Right, it's only a millisecond after, but it's helpful because it's a little tricky for me to put them both down at the same time. I guess I should work on that. Look, I'm finding my own weaknesses. And sometimes, no joke, I'll get out of the song and just do something like this for 2 minutes. Like, why is that difficult for me? Shouldn't my left hand just be able to get there? I still like to just do the ring finger and add the pinky a second later, but it's something I should work on. And then we go into the verse, and it repeats the second stanza, and it's the exact same thing. It goes measure 9 through 16 again, the exact same way, with different lyrics. I think you guys get it, so I won't play through it again. The chorus. Look at measure 17. If you haven't realized it by now, and you don't know how many comments and emails I'll get, it's amazing. Where are the tabs? The tabs are free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com. I don't know where else to put it and say it, but I'll still get that question. Where are these free tabs you speak of? They're linked below. I'll try to mention it more and more. mikesmusicmethod.com. They're all free to download. So go get your tab. Please don't rely on this thing on the screen. I know it's helpful to learn with, but you really should have it printed out and be looking at that as well, so you're not always relying on me. Plus, I'm not always... It's a lot of editing to get every single time I'm doing it to move it. Anyway, download the tab. It's free. And so measure 17, the chorus. When I'm recovering the song, I do the chorus exactly the same as the intro. So there, I told you my secret. But on the recording, his is a little bit different. I'll show you how to do it. I find it a little bit trickier. I guess I am doing one thing from this part in the chorus that's actually in the chorus. And we'll talk through the differences. But check out this D minor. Sometimes this 17 is exactly the same as measure 1 in the song. But the first chorus, for some reason, it's more sparse. I don't know why he does that, but he does. Maybe he forgot what he was playing and messed up, or I don't know, was intentional. I'm not sure. So we have the beginnings the same as measure 1 of 17, but then he just does 4 and he lifts up the chord to do 3, and then he goes to the G7 here, not just the G. So that's important to note, because it does have a very different sound here. And it is 6-2, that's that G7 again, right? With the pinky down on the D string. And it is 6-2-4-3, 6-2-4-1-2 again. But we move our pinky to the first fret. A C to anticipate the C chord. And we saw this before, so 19 is the same as measure 3. And the same minor is the same. Nothing new there. Is this all the same? Yep, that D minor, 21 is the same. Here it's a little bit different, and I'm sure he does this. Again, is it intentional? Is it consistent every time? I'm not sure. But he does 6, it's the G7 again, measure 22. 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 3, 4 is open. He's lifting the pinky there. I can hear it. I don't know if that makes it that much cooler, but it's in there. Lifts the pinky, and then he puts the first finger down to anticipate the C again. And then here we just have a very simple C chord in 23 and 24, which is 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, 3, 4, 2. Then the next measure is different. 5, 3, 4, 1, 6, 2, 3. So the thumb does a big stretch to add emphasis to that last note on the 3rd string. We haven't heard the thumb do that yet on the C chord. So he's a good picker. It's clear he's a good picker, and he has some freedom, and he knows how to vary things up. And so he's doing that throughout the song, right? It's not always predictable, not always exactly the same, but you don't have to obsess. For me, it's great to learn it, to see if I can do all these things. But when it comes to covering the song, actually, I'm going to do my own variation, right? Because it's just, when I'm thinking and I'm singing, like sometimes I'm going to miss a note and play a pattern that I'm comfortable with. And that's what I expect you guys to do as well. But to at least learn it this way is how we get better and broaden our right hand picking abilities. So that's why I get really lost in the weeds on this stuff, because I do think it is valuable for you as a player to do this kind of stuff. But that's the chorus. We only got a little bit left here. Amazing. You're doing amazing. Da-da-da. I lied. We're done with the song. You did it. Hats off. Congratulations to you. You're a winner. Feel good about it, because if you look in the tab that you've downloaded for free at mikesmusicmethod.com, measure 25 is exactly the same as 5-8. So he does the intro, the verse, the chorus, and then as a transition, he only does measure 5-8. So in other words, he's doing the second half of the intro as his transition back to the second verse. And then I wrote it down if you look at measure 29 in your tab. Then we go to verse 2, a chorus. Then this time he does a longer transition, because he does the full intro again. So measures 1-8. Then he does verse 3, chorus, and he doesn't have a transition. Straight into verse 4, chorus. And then this time he does only 5-8, or you know what I mean, only the second half of the intro again. Then he does verse 5, chorus, full intro, and he ends on a C major. So at the very end of that, he's just kind of ending on a C. When you listen, it's unmistakable. He's just ending the intro, slows down, strums a C instead of picks it. And that is the whole song. Again, this is not one where I would obsess on song flow. If you want to play that intro between the verses and the chorus, feel free to do it. If not, don't. And that's it. You did it. Congratulations. I am very proud of you. This is a cool song. Not difficult, but it is difficult to get it nice and smooth. So take your time. Feel proud that you did it. If anyone out there ends up doing a cover version of the song, please share it. I love to get emails from you guys. So share it. Let's do some slow run-throughs, and we'll call it a day. Whenever you want to call it a day, you can continue to practice. But here are the slow run-throughs. All right, slow run through of the entire thing here from the top. You got your tab printed. Let's do it. 2, 3. Let me get a good timing. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, y'all. Then everything else is just a repeat. Victory. All right, ready? Here it comes. You got a 3-second warning to pause the video or you're going to see my belly. 3, 2, 1. It's not that bad. It's getting a lot better. I used to have big Buddha belly, but like, I almost have my abs back. And I can't flex enough, though. I'm going to hurt myself. It's like a smiley face. If I put like 2 little eyes here, I should almost make my daughter draw on me for y'all right now. All right, enough.